Whew. Hey, it's me, your local Raizoni. Shit, it's been a while. Whew. Yeah, I'm not sure what exactly happened. Actually, I do know what happened. What happened was, TLDR, I've been busy with life. Went to a con and everything like that. Pretty much that, really. I've just been busy. And a little bit of a small hiatus, I guess, here and there. Wasn't in the mood to stream. It's been weird. How about that? But anyway, enough chit chat with me. I'm just gonna begin here and now. I forgot where I was in this game. Hopefully, hopefully I remember where I was. Because I remember I was up to a point where I vaguely remember where I was. Number 15. Yep, here it is. Anyway, I'll just start this off. Oh, what's this? Alright, off we go. So let's start this off, and I'll see where I remember. Maybe if I go for my history. I think there's a backlog. That's not too much, that's a lot to take in. But anyway, let's start. As expected, the image file Shogun has sent me was in the folder where my cache was kept, a JPEG by the name of 168491. Hesitation that was born of the fact that I didn't really want to see it still lingered inside me. It was such a gory and sickening image. Once I looked at it, I wouldn't be able to keep my mind from calling up associated memories of the scene of the stalking murder I'd seen in real life. No, but I had to do it, to prove you are wrong, to guarantee my own safety, and to assert my innocence. Saraton was watching over me, so I'd have to try enduring the Guro factor for a little longer. Mustering my courage, I double-clicked to open the file. That's an image. No matter what, it was still foul. But it wasn't such a big deal compared to the stalking I had seen in person. And if I thought of it as a composite, I could just barely bring myself to tolerate it. When he first sent it to me, I'd only taken a fast look before closing it. I hadn't scrutinized it every nook and cranny. This time, finding back nausea, I examined the image closely. I didn't know how to tell if an image had been shopped, but I figured it'd be okay if I looked at things like the direction of the shadows if anything in the scenery fell off. One possibility was that it had been created by combining previously taken background photographs with a CG version of the pinned-up corpse. Pinned-up corpse. And the day after Shogun sent it to me, the murder had put the killing method this photo illustrated into action. Due to pixelation and the dim lighting of the nailed body showing up, the photograph, I was only able to make out the stakes and couldn't see much of the body itself. The light hit the area only around the pinned up corpse, making it seem like a still staked out part were saying, "Come on, look at me. Please." It felt like the person who made the picture had intentionally arranged it that way. For a start, it was kind of overdoing it to solely spotlight a body. Well, I hadn't closely studied the actual crime scene, so I wasn't really in a position to say anything. In the photo, that demon girl wasn't stalking the nailed body. But if I stretch my eyes wide and stared unblinkingly at the image, I began to see something shaped like a person in shadow along on the left edge. I had been in danger of overlooking it. The phone's graininess and the fact that they were staying, the shadow made completely dissolve into the background. And you wouldn't stand much of a chance of noticing with just a glance. This had to be shopped. But maybe the person who made the photo had accidentally entered the frame when they were taking pictures, and then forget to erase it when they were manipulating the rest of the photo? Whatever the case, the figure appeared to have a Suime uniform, which meant it was a demon girl, for she too had worn the Suime uniform. But when I strained my eyes harder and I looked at the figure in the photo again, it seemed to have short hair. The demon girl had long hair. This was knock you out of running as well. Alrighty, let's try using some image editing software to make it easier to see. Open up the editing program, I drag and drop the pictures, and after a single convulsive breath, I selected adjust levels from the menu and brighten the image dark parts. What's this? The one photographed here. No matter how you looked at the one photographed here. Why was I there? It was outlandish because I had gone to that place once since September 29th. This had been shopped in, no question about it. I couldn't find the slightest evidence to prove it, but it was obviously a composite. If not, I'd be crazy. Besides, Shogun had sent me the image on the 28th, and the stalking murder had occurred on the 29th. This picture was a picture of the same place where the crime happened on the 29th. My being there would have made a photo of the future. Kicking away one of the empty plastic bottles at my feet, I closed the image editing program. I opened up the JPEG file properties, checked the date it's been created, and I've been shocked. It had been created on the 28th, but that had already stopped mattering to me. A single sentence written in the comment field of the property window, so as not to stand out. It was that which my eyes became nailed to. I hit the keyboard, pushing it to the edge of my desk, and cradled my head. I held back welling tears. This whole week has been full of one incomprehensible thing after the other. Why was I the only one who had to suffer like this? Wait a second. If he had gotten his hands on my pictures and combined it with this girl image, Shogun had, at the least, either... That's a fucking big word, holy crap. Suppressively? That's a word. So repetitiously photographed me beforehand or acquired my pictures somewhere or other. Going by how he abruptly entered the chat room and waited for Grimm to leave before he started talking, he must have been targeting me from the start. Maybe he had access to my personal information. These ellipses are killing me. And so, it wouldn't be odd if Shogun and the demon girl came here to my base or tagged me at any time. They'd abduct me. The back of my neck prickled. It was that gaze again. I was watched by someone. Like hell I'll turn around. It'll take more than that to make me turn around game. Terror covered my whole body in goose flesh. That's a fucking word too. And I longed to go up to the door and make sure it was bolted, but I would lose if I turned around, so I went on stubbornly staring at my monitor. Enable so down, I opened some word processing software and began typing in my thoughts. Demon girl murderer, precog, Shogun, demon girl, Sunderland, you what? Jesus Christ, Akemi, you're a fucking delusional person, you know that? Jesus. Trembling a little as I looked down at the word demon, I began to wonder if Maybe the girl at the scene of the murder really had been some kind of devil. Yeah, she couldn't be human. So maybe she could see the future. It'd be a walk in the park for her to transfer a vision of the future into a picture via spirit photography. Nor was there anything wondrous about the fact that she carried out that dreadful stalking all by herself. She used the word shogun to send me data, since she knew I would coincidentally cite her at a crime scene. She didn't know the reason why. Perhaps to intimidate me. A threat to make me think I'd end up the same way if I told anyone. Or else, advance warning of her next murder. A death sentence. I'll kill you next. If that really were the case.
勝てるわけがない。僕は奴らにいつ殺されてもおかしくないんだ。
Oh, that's the end of the fucking chapter, I guess. Oh. Oh, hey, it's my favorite character. I'm guessing that was the end of the chapter or something. I don't know. Anyway, Kusunoki Yua had been in her room facing her PC. Viewed in profile, her face was deathly serious as she swiftly read through the news display on the monitor. At last, she let out a small breath and released her mouth, letting her eyes fall momentarily to a piece of paper placed not far from her hands. It was a printed version of the backlog of a chat between Neidhart and Shogun, the same as what she had pushed at Nishijo Takumi yesterday.
西条君
His name fell from her lips. The image of Takumi's back as he sat alone on one of the benches in Shoto Park floated up in her mind. As though to erase it, she soon gave her head a little shake. Catching her breath, she whipped around to her back.
今誰かに見られていたような
At the end of her gaze laid the large stuffed ghetto froggy enshrined atop of her bed. Show us a fucking frog, dude. She tilted her head, wondering if she had been imagining things. Then got up, walked over to her bed, and flopped down to it face first. The sheets smelled like sunlight. Her mother must have hung them to dry during the day. Burying her head in their reassuring scent, Yua let her eyes wander absent-mindedly. Her extremely tidy room revealed her meticulous personality, especially the enormous bookshelves, out of place in a mere 8 tatami room, which were lined up with numerous books and had hardly a gap between any of them. Amusingly, though the bottom half held difficult-looking scholarly texts and PC-related books, the top half was buried in shoujo manga and anime duties. Yua let out a nurse sigh, rolled onto her back and gazed at the ceiling.
DID
She murmured the name of the mental illness she's been researching on her PC. I know this term quite a lot, actually. Knew someone with this type of thing. That was a fun time. Even now, an explanation of it was displayed on her monitor.
辛いんですね
Yua thought of Takumi as she hugged the ghetto froggy that sat near her pillow.
私
Yet her face soon emptied of all expression and she gritted her teeth. It was hard to breathe, though all I had been doing was looking things up on my PC. I felt my heart pulsing more violently than usual. As before, the presence of something watching me refused to disappear. I was still just barely holding out, keeping myself from turning around. but my limits were approaching.
なんなんだよお前はコソコソしやがって。
I howled at that something. Its true identity wasn't that demon, was it? Maybe she was using X-ray vision or clairvoyance, or something similarly demonic power to keep me under surveillance. Jesus, talk to me. My dude. The prickling at the back of my neck grew steadily stronger and stronger, transforming into a pain like an electric shock. I'd been sweating copiously for a while now. The collar of my t-shirt has gone completely drenched. Unable to bear any longer, I whirled around. All I saw was the same old room, with no indication that it had undergone any changes whatsoever.
なんでいないんだよ。誰なんだ。
Shouting in a voice that sounded more like a shriek, I got up and checked to see if the door had been properly bolted. It had. A tiny bit relieved. I wiped the sweat off my forehead with my shirt sleeve. Returned to my PC, I glared at the monitor anew. I had been researching precognition. When I was a child, I had seriously believed that precognitive abilities really existed. To be 100% honest with you, I still believe in them a little, even now. As a result, I had the instinctive notion that the image the demon girl and Shogun had sent me was the one that foretold the future, and I had been left with no choice but to look deeper into the matter. Perhaps without me knowing it, the world was already full of prophets. I myself had done something similar to see the future when I was a child, before the bus accident. Because of that, I couldn't completely deny it. But no matter how much I researched it, everything I came up with was related to the occult or magic. All kinds of sketchy looking stuff. There was nothing purporting to scientifically prove that such powers existed, or on the flip side, that they didn't. Okay, I'm gonna do a little check here. Give me a second. Okay, all good.
一つぐらいあってもいいだろ。
Increasingly irritated, I stuck viciously at my keyboard. If things stayed so vague, anxiety would make me lose the ability to hold myself together. Was I supposed to keep waiting for demons that may or may not come for me? My nerves wouldn't be able to take it. Yeah, it'd be best to have proof that they weren't coming. But for now, I just want things to be black and white, clear and understandable. Now I didn't have much of a choice left except to take a look at A Channel's occult board. It was mostly made up of white noise, lies, and absurdities. But there was also times when it had a shockingly impressive news leads and information. Suppressing my emotions, I opened A Channel's main page. I jumped to the occult board and ran a search on Telling the Future. And I'm gonna read this out quickly. Prediction prophecy is all about Phantasm, New Gen 4333, randomly predicting the future of Japan, number 6. You guys who want to use them. The actual fuck is this shit? I got an awfully large number of hits. About 30? Was precognition the new thing in that channel? Gulping, I checked the thread title one by one.
ファンタズム FES.
Most of the threads I'd come up with contained the words phantasm and fess. On top of that, New Gen frequently appeared in the same line. There were lines of disquieting phrases like prophetic lyrics and murderer. Googling taught me that Phantasm was a 4-man gothic punk band currently on tour, with Shibuya as their home field. They were such a popular group that they monopolized people's conversation about the indie music scene, and their vocalist was a girl by the name of Fess. For the moment, wanting to find out how they were connected to precognition, I picked up the very top thread, Prediction, Prophecy, all about Phantasm, New Gen 43, and started skimming it. Oh shoot, can I like move it myself or what's going on here? Okay, no. Calm down, guys. For now, just go to the show on Sunday. Enjoy Fest. I'm not doing these things. Enjoy Fest's black mass to the fullest. Otherwise, you'll get staked to death. Lol. I read the lyrics and I couldn't really take them, and they say stuff too vaguely, making appreciate prophecy. But spare me for being stalked. Oh, I can move it technically. Lol. Precognition, prophecies. You're making it too big of a deal of it. She's no Nostradamus. Just enjoy the music. Basically, same shit. I'll talk about Fez. Ria wrote songs. What about him? Poor guy. Fez stars are fucking nasty. Yeah. yeah. I'll sort of let y'all read that for yourself. Actually, no. Feston is my wife. Yeah, I agree. Fess. Don't bump the Fred. You can get raised.
十字の杭
These lyrics. No matter what, I couldn't believe they signified anything other than the staking I had seen with my own eyes. Furthermore, these lyrics were from a song that had come 2 months ago. In other words, she hadn't written them after the staking merge took place.
これが予知ってこと
Was it a mere culmination or coincidence? Or was Phantasm too among the demon girl's underlings? Reading the log in more detail revealed the startling fact that all 3 new-gen incidents had been prophesied in the lyrics beforehand. Except for the lyrics of songs predicting the group dive and the pregnant man hadn't been posted on that channel. Whatever the case might have been, people seem to think you shouldn't upload them. If you want to know that bad, go to one of their shows and buy their albums, they were saying. In any event, those online were going wild trying to figure out what kind of killing method would. Oh, I fucking skipped that. That's gotta fucking backlog that shit, dude. Where was I? Have been released up to up. What kind of killing method would be used in next gen case based on the lyrics for all the songs Phantasm had released up to the present. Ever since the new gen case started, their independently released albums had been selling like hotcakes. And part of it was the that's a fucking word. Oh, never mind. There it is. Blah, blah, blah. Like hotcakes, and part of the media increasingly began to adopt it as the goth punk band currently experiencing a cult-like popularity among Shibuya's young people. Fess was one who wrote the lyrics. Apparently, it was pronounced Fesu. Her real name remained undisclosed. Maybe she was that demon girl. Then there wouldn't be anything odd about her ability to predict the incidents several months in advance. After all, she herself was a perpetrator. I tried running an image search, but I couldn't find any photos of Fesu's face. They were all cell phone pics taken during the concert, so shaky that I couldn't discern anything about what she looked like.
くそ
I wiped away the sweat seeping out my forehead with a hem of my t-shirt. Irritation and terror, the feeling that everything around me was a lie, the feeling that I didn't want to see anything, a whole range of emotions mixed together inside me, making my breath grow tight. I'd been breathing harshly this whole time. In any case, I wanted to see Fesu's face for myself. With trembling fingers, I typed at my keyboard, heading for Phantasm's official site. Edge. What showed up was a plain-looking site with black as its basic theme. The words for a uniform scarlet. Scarlet. Giving off a strange or perhaps frightening atmosphere. The site contained almost no news, and not a single photograph. All that was written there was information about their show and their discography. There wasn't a single bit about band members' profiles or the lyrics to their songs.
やっぱり犯人だけあって ネットに顔写真が流出しないようにしてるのか。
She sure knew what she was doing. When I look at their itinerary or of shows, it appeared that they were performing about once every 2 weeks. Their next live performance
あさ
was.
って
If I went to see it, I'd be able to confirm or not Fesu was a demon girl. But once I confirmed it, where would that get me? What would I give? What would I give Fesu over to the police? Would I weep and plead with her not to get me involved? Would I go bearing a cross and pretend to perform an exorcism? All those options were asking the impossible. She was a demon. Nasi otaku like me stood no chance of surpassing her. If I, if I lost to the demon girl, I'd die. My body would metamorphose, whatever. My body would metamorphose into a ruthless work of art, and I'd get put up on some wiki site as one of their new gen cases.
そんなの嫌だ。
I didn't, but if things continue this way, I'd never understand how I had ended up as part of the image data Shogun had sent me. But if Festu had nothing to do with Demon Girl, maybe I could ask her for help, find some way to fight back.
だけどやっぱり無理だ。ライブなんて行けるわけがない。
My whole life up until now, I'd never gone to one, even once. It'd be the equivalent of playing in an away game. Concerts were small and dark and noisy and packed with people. Simply imagine it made me nauseous. At a loss for what to do, I held my head, as the tingling sensation of my neck went on and on. It changed from numb pain to a scorching pain, as though my skin were burning. And even if I had turned around, no one was there.
もうやめてよ。
I squeezed my eyes shut and waited fervently for my sense of the gaze to vanish. I wouldn't stand for having to fret about this sensation for the rest of my life. Some day, the gaze alone might be enough to kill me.
考えろ、匠。僕にできることを考えろ。
Sorry if you try to call Sarah, my dude. What are you trying to do? You call Sarah, aren't you? I hid the shadows of a telephone pole and scoped out the club called Gigantes? Gigantes? Yeah, whatever. After worrying about it all day yesterday, I finally made up my mind to come here, where the concert was being held. Gigantes was a striking-looking red brick building located at the entrance to a narrow road that went along Shibuya's overhead railway. Its outer walls were illuminated, giving off an atmosphere so old and so sober that I almost thought I'd slipped back through the times to the Showa era. For now, I had no idea to a place like with an atmosphere like this exists in Shibuya. It was barely a 5-minute walk from the station, but I sensed a few people in my surroundings. Occasionally, a train would pass along the overhead railway, sounding a tremendous roar from making the telephone poles I hid behind tremble minutely, right? However, until just a little earlier, there had been a lot of people in front of the Gigantes, most likely Phantasm fans. They wore such remarkable outfits that it would have been easy to mistake them for cosplayers. What surprised me was the fact that the overall head count seemed fairly small. For all that Phantasm was the topic of the moment of the net, only about 100 people had come. All of them had entered the club. The show must have started, or must have already started. The sound didn't leak all the way outside though, so none of it seemed quite real to me. Though I had succeeded in keeping my pulse under control yesterday and most of today, it had started raging again the moment I arrived at the club. So hard to breathe, I began wondering if I had some kind of heart disease. No, I understand why this was happening to me. A dense darkness surrounded this place. The demon girl and her crony Yua must have been lurking somewhere nearby. That was why I had frenetically looked around, watching out in case someone tried to attack me. If I were to compare this sense of tension to something in what did I say for this? Ensue? Ensu? I'll just keep saying Ensue. It was about the level of the Wands Volcano Labyrinth. The game balance in the Wands Volcano Labyrinth was completely ridiculous. Its enemies were particularly strong, and it was surrounded by lava, which would kill you instantly if you so much as brushed up against it. I died there countless times. Swallowing, I scrubbed the sweat off my forehead with a hand towel. At the same time, the door at the top of the stairs to Gigante swung open. For a second time, the sound of wildly beating drums resounded from within. A lone male emerged from the doorway. Dashing, ugh, dashing lightly down the stairs, he came running to me.
Yo, Taku. Matta ka?
Hey, it's my dude. I was the one who had invited Misumi to this show. Because I hadn't known his cell phone number, I'd been forced to come to school today in order to talk to him about it. If I were alone, I'd probably wouldn't be able to make it as far as the front of the gig. Words, right? I probably wouldn't be able to made it as far as the front of Gigantes. Besides, even supposing I managed to enter on my own, it'd be game over for me if the demon girl were there. Therefore, I had Misumi come to perform a reconnaissance for me. Of course, since he wouldn't taken too well to the idea of being used as scapegoat, I refrained from mentioning that part of it. He and Nanami were the only ones whom I could have asked this favor. I picked Misumi because he was less obnoxious. I paid for both of our tickets. In other words, I'd hire him to the tune of 1,000 yen, about $10.
ほらよ。これ CD な。俺自分の分も買っちまったよ。
Okay, that was from the previous dialogue. Okay. What Misumi handed to me was a Phantasm album. They've been selling for shockingly high price in online auctions. Auctions, you mean? But because I'd read on Nachannel that they sold them during their performances, I asked Misumi to go buy one for me. With this, I achieved half my goal. As for the other half...
いやー、予想以上にいいな。ファンタズムって。
The fucking dude bro, man. Actually, no, not a dude bro, but goddamn, this game keeps pretty up there. Having just come out of the club, Misumi was a little worked up.
俺、あんまミーハーになりたくなかったんで聞こうとしなかったんだけどよ。今日ちょっと生で聞いただけでファンになっちまった。
My other request was for Misumi to go inside by himself and report back to me about the Phantasm members' distinguishing attributes. The band would go up stage once the show started, so he could have just taken a quick look at them and hurried back and tell me about them. But it had taken over 5 minutes from the start of the show before he came back. Apparently, it was because he listened to the whole first song.
特にボーカル。ありゃマジでいい女だぜ。お前、女見る目あるな。
Misumi really did think solely with his nether regions. So much for him saying he didn't want to follow the crowd.
どんな人だった？ああ、そっか。報告な。なんか探偵みてえで面白いな。そう思わねえ？
I urged grinning Misumi to tell me about what Fesu looked like.
髪型はショートカットだった。え？
All of a sudden, her traits had stopped overlapping with those of the demon girl. Did that mean Fesu wasn't a demon girl? No, wait, don't run ahead of yourself. She could alter her hairstyle by cutting it or adding extensions. It wasn't strange to think that she might be wearing a disguise when I ran into her at the scene of the murder.
スタイルがすっげえ良くて、あと背が高かったな。ありゃ俺と同じぐらいはあるんじゃねえの？背が
About the same as Mizumi. Mizumi and I had similar stature. In other words, Fesu was about 170 centimeters or 5'7", pretty tall for a female. But the demon girl hadn't given off that sort of image during my chance encounter with her. My memory was fuzzy, but I had that feeling that she'd been shorter than me. Another unmatching trait.
他には
そうだな。アンニュイな雰囲気してたな。声はクールってイメージかな。結構ボソボソと喋るタイプだった。胸のサイズはまあまあ。でもゴスパンの服は妙な色気があったぜ。
Eroge.
ああいうのもありだな。断然あり。
That's no good. I couldn't figure anything out based on her hearsay. On his hearsay. I had only caught a brief glimpse of the demon girl in the first place. If you asked me to list her salient characteristics, I wouldn't be able to come up with much. This strategy might have been unreasonable after all.
っていうかよ、そんなにフェスに興味あるなら自分の目で見ればいいじゃねえか。
There you go. Mizumi pushed me in the back, forcing me to climb up the stairs into Gigantes. I frantically tried to resist, but he was stronger than me, and I couldn't get away.
見たいんだろフェスの顔を。浮気ってのは男の差がだよな。たくも大人になったもんだぜ。
は
That's a man saga. Okay.
この前一緒に帰ってたメガネの子のことは今夜だけは気にすんなって。俺も田中のことは忘れるからよ。
I don't get what you're saying. I started to dig my heel in even harder, but I froze up when I realized we reached the top of the stairs. We were only 2 stories up, but if I had lashed out here and slipped and fell, it hurt a lot, I thought, and my resistance weakened. Taking advantage of this opening, Misumi body slammed me through the door into the club. It's gonna be loud, probably. A deafening noise hit my ear as we entered. I never heard such a loud sound before. With the depth of my stomach shaking against my will, it all but gave me the illusion that my body would vibrate into pieces. There wasn't a single seat for the audience to use. Everybody was standing. All of them swayed to the beat, shaking their upraised fists and shouting "Fesu, Fesu" with perfect timing. It didn't quite measure up to the level of audience participation you'd find at an otaku concert, though. It was incredibly overheated. The stuffiness made me feel like throwing up. I'm an otaku, but I'm not a fan of idols or seiyuu, so if I had to put it plainly, I hate this kind of audience enthusiasm. My one salvation was the fact that no one looked over at me, so I couldn't deny I appear really out of place here. The people ahead of me made it so hard to see the stage. The lights illuminating it were dazzling, and I could just barely recognize about 4 people standing in the midst of brightness. As the atmosphere overwhelmed me, Misumi handed me a plastic cup with juice in it. It seemed he'd covered the entrance fee. I had to make sure to pay him back later. The performance suddenly ended. The spectators clapped and cheered, as though it had placated them. Yeah, as though it had placated them. Everyone lowered their raised fists. Thanks to that, my field of view cleared up, as if a path had opened up for me to the stage. Now I could make out a face of a short-haired girl standing at the center stage. She was obviously a different person from the demon.
今日はいつもより調子いいわ。声がクリアに聞こえる。世界がとても澄んでいる。
The voice I heard through her mic was both similar and dissimilar to that of the demon girl, who had thrown incomprehensible words at me. Just as Misumi had said, Fesu had a world-weary atmosphere to her. She didn't feel boyish. At once cute and seductive, she bore about her a mysterious aura of distinct solitude. The numerous silver accessories she wore about her body sparkled brilliantly in the light. They too seemed fantastical. I was starting to understand why people made threads about Fesu on that channel. I had assumed the band members would approach a live performance like this more explosively, but Fesu spoke rather apathetically into the microphone. Seemed like the exact opposite of the adrenaline coming from the audience. Perhaps it was just her personality. But the fans learned from her example, going silently and listening intently to Fesu's words as she
呼
emceed.
吸と性の門が閉じているからかもしれない。
What'd she say? Cocytus? What language was that?
世界の均衡は大いなる意志が生まれてから数千年間保たれていた。でも今それは崩れつつある。とても不安定だから私は歌うわ。君たちのカオスを受け入れてあげる。
I see, maybe she was assuming a stage persona as part of the whole goth punk thing. Ordinary people would have trouble understanding it, but by speaking so insinuatingly, she created a sense of something mystical, making her fans' heart easier to take hold of. In reality, Fesu was holding something particular. In her left hand was a regular microphone, while her right hand was gripping a mysterious-looking mic stand, one in the shape of a sword. Its form was so lovely as it seemed sinister, and so sharp that it looked like she would slice off your fingers. It looked like it would slice off your fingers in an instant if you merely brushed it. It was tremendously large, almost like as long as Fesu was tall. In addition, the portion of it with glass embedded in the shape of a line radiated in a glowing blue light. I wasn't sure whether or not it was really a mic stand, but as a prop for contributing to her stage persona, it was sublime. My eyes became weirdly fastened to it. Next, Fesu lightly hoisted up that colossal mic stand with her right hand alone. I'd appreciate it if I could see it, instead of talking about it. Still holding it with a reverse grip, she swept it out in a wide slash to the side. The blue light from the glassy parts traced an arc. That's so dangerous. What would she have done if she hit a spectator? What if it weren't a mic stand, but instead a sword? In order to offer fresh blood to the demon girl, she used that sword to cut the throat of a single audience member each night, or something. If so, it would indeed make this live show a black mass hosted by devils. A chill shot through me. The goosebumps rose over my body. It might be best to get out of here as fast as possible. As I began to think that, Fess murmured softly.
次は3曲目。在下に契約の地を。
Even vaster even vaster cheers of delight rose from the audience. Immediately afterwards, the other Phantasm members started moving simultaneously. For a second time, the sound came flooding into my ears. The roar seemed like it would rupture my eardrums. This is good. Holy shit. Okay. Won't everyone's ears go all funny from being in a place like this? When I looked over, Misumi wasn't totally into it, pumping his fist to the rhythm in the same manner as the other spectators. Let me just go over this for a bit. Okay. I'll probably. This is I guess a semi-test still along the way. When the intro ended and Fess began to sing, the lyrics made me go tense. It was a prophetic song whose lyrics have been posted into a channel. Give me a second. Okay. That'll probably affect us too. Fair enough. Alright, sorry about that. A dark song that didn't let you sense a slightest hope of salvation. Partly because of the lyrics, but also because of the melody. It felt like something religious. The audience members who had first been going wild became less and less active as the song continued, until everyone was staying in place without uttering a single word. On the contrary, however, it was because they were so captivated, and among them were people who gazed fixedly at Efesu with the faces of those drowning in ecstasy. True enough, Fesu's voice possessed some quality that attracted people to her. Even I battled the fear nausea induced in me by the crowd around me. I was listening carefully to keep from missing parts of her song. At the end, she repeated the chorus over and over. Strike the stake, tear open the darkest nights, bathed in moonlight. As I listened to that phrase, I recalled how the demon girl had slowly turned around to face me, splashing blood as she stood before the nailed-up corpse. My skin prickled with goose flesh. I sensed that the air around me had instantly dropped several degrees in temperature. The song was over. Fesu soaked in the reverberations of her performance, gazing down and softly swaying her body from side to side. Then she abruptly raised her hand. Without warning, without any hesitation or gaze, she... Save point here, because delusion time. I'm not sure where to take this, actually. I want to see what the a pause delusion looked like. It wasn't merely a matter of her looking in my general direction or of our eyes meeting for a single second. Fesu was clearly looking at me. As far as I know, the anime, I think, might have taken positive one, maybe? I wouldn't know. Steadily, staring fixedly, as though she were confirming my existence, as though she were searching for something inside me. Her gaze was extraordinarily searing, and for some reason sorrowful. As I remained unable to tear my eyes away from her, she descended from the stage into the midst of the spectators. The other Phantasm members resumed playing, but Fessa didn't sing. When as she wandered through the audience, she languorously stripping off her top, exposing her sexy shoulders. The fuck? Her quiet fans, yeah, the anime did do this part. I vaguely remember. Her quiet fans became agitated with her excitement again. All of them raised their fists and started jumping wildly. They made the floor shake as if an earthquake were taking place. Yet no one attempted to touch Fesu, as though they were displaying their awe of the sacred being under ordinary circumstances. Under ordinary circumstances, if a star was compellingly charismatic, as her went down amongst her fans, she expected to mob her. As part of an unspoken agreement, a single rule, and of their own accord, the Phantasm fanboys forbade themselves to make contact with Fesu's body. Even so, they felt her existence come very near them. They tasted the scent of her sweat, they tasted the same air as her. Those things granted her believers the highest possible joy. Perhaps she put some kind of performance every time. Wait, perhaps she put this kind of performance every time, or so I thought. But down my eyes when I caught sight of Fesu's next move. She had casually started undoing her belt at her waist. When she tossed it away, her fanboys reached all at once, each vying to make it theirs. Casting a sidelong glance at Anfesu, unfastened her miniskirt. It fell to her ankles with a rustle. Her suggestive black underwear came into view. Fesu seemed completely unbothered by the fact that her cultists were seeing her in a state of indecency. Yeah, this music sound mean otherwise. Had she gone high on the ambience, or was it another type of performance? Or else pure exhibitionism? I didn't know, but everything about her was such a turn on that my eyes became glued to her. Fucking delusion, man. Fesu looked at me again. She smiled enticingly.
おいこっち来るぞ
Her gaze unmoving. Fesu looked at me. She approached gradually as though she had fixed her aim at me. And having coming right up to me. Oh. Her sweet side grazed my face, and in much the same way as a lover would. As if you would know fucking talking to me, Jesus. Calm down. She embraced me. Her skin was damp with sweat, her scent and her warmth were so alluring I almost had vertigo. Her chest rose and fell rapidly, pressed tight against my body. It was sad that singing could be exhausting, but right now her panting passed from her skin to mine, being transmitted to me directly. Her arms clenched tight around my back. Her nails ate into the nape of my neck. Her thighs became tangled in my legs. Yep, good old arrowgate crap. I trembled all over as if electricity had run through me. I could neither push her away nor return her embrace. All I could do was stand stock still, eyes wide. Her fans cheered again. This time it sounded as if they were close to screaming. The other members of the Phantasm began playing more violently. Shouts of Fest's name reverberated back and forth in a small club. Voices crying, "Do it, do it," began to appear in the mix more and more often. What did they mean, they say, to do it? I was completely at a loss. Fest is still holding me, said nothing. Seeking help, I looked for Mizumi, and was startled to find him sharing a deep kiss with a female spectator I'd never seen before. No, Mizumi wasn't the only one. The other cultists, males and females alike, were throwing away their clothes and embracing each other, nude and kissing. Some had already begun to take things to their natural conclusion. Holy crap! Pandemonium, debauchery, sultry voices and cheering. The rude sounds of flesh riding up against flesh, borne up against Phantasm's music. Those were what took over the menu. A black mass. Understood at last. This was a obscene banquet held by the demon called Fessa, swearing loyalty to her and the devil. Her believers became lost in their orgy. And today, I was the demon's living sacrifice. Fessa had chosen me as her partner. This is what it meant to go to one of Phantasm's shows. I too was getting swallowed by the atmosphere. I felt my head start to go foggy. Anticipation for and dread. I don't know. Anticipation for and dread towards what would happen from here on out. The sense of superiority and the rapture that came from having been chosen by Fesu. It felt like I was about to go crazy. Fesu laughed again, close to my ear. I heard her clearly, despite the fact that we were being swamped in the mist. So many overflowing voice sounds. She had such a sexy voice. Merely hearing it, I thought I might faint. But Fesu tempted me further towards the abyss of pleasure. Jesus, dude. She softly bit down on my earlobe, blew breath into my ear, and whispered,
その目誰の目
there we go. Good delusion.
フェスエロいよフェス
Right. Observing my fantasies, I sat in front of my PC. The show that I got into today had turned out to be nicely simulating as far as 3D girls went. That was pretty odd. Same. But it had been way too packed with people for me to want to go back. In the end, I quickly got sick of being around a crowd, and I got off on the club. Today's fantasy was top notch. Who knew? Maybe Festoon Phantasm really did do that sort of thing. Oh, Takumi, Jesus Christ, Takumi. They just hadn't been in the mood for it today. Okay, then time to get back into it or whatever. Oh yeah, Ensua was a fucking game. I forgot. Ensua was my daily life, and a pleasure world, and my one comfort. How let me escape into reality. As long as I had immersed myself into it, I could forget about all the bad stuff. I ceased being myself and ran to Basilet as Nightheart. My Nightheart wasn't doing too well today. Of course, I knew it was due to how I used the keyboard and made decisions for him. But I had trouble accomplishing things I normally perform with ease. And through playing what's supposed to comfort me, I got more and more irritated as I continued.
なんだよこいつ捨てるぞお前
Jesus, talking to me. I knew it was my fault, but I took it out on Nightheart.
ああもうムカつく
Scrounging up my hair, I kicked up the metal-plated wall. Once I had completely worked up off my anger, I took a sigh and leaned against my back again. I took a sigh and leaned back against my chair. I barely contemplated the monitor. Without me to operate him, Nightheart stood motionless at the entrance to a Sean Grim city and stared into space. I always fought enemies while watching Nightheart. Nightheart's back like naturally. Like this. Naturally, he had the maximum possible number of experience points.
僕の経験値っていくつなんだろう
Had the human being named Nishijo Takumi matured at all since he first began playing into it? No, rather, since the time he was born. If I'd grown up, why was I so bad at talking to people? Why was I carrying out the lifestyle of a borderline hikikomori? If I didn't log in for several weeks, would Nightheart become a hikikomori as well? As I watched Nightheart's back, I suddenly remembered those words. I started to become a little curious about what Nightheart got up to when I wasn't controlling him. I keyed to survey him for some time, keeping my hands away from the keyboard and munching on my potato chips.
もしナイトハルトに自我があるとしたら
Surely he would go striding up through Shangrim City, shoulders squared. He was a hero everyone worshipped.
ねえナイトハルト
Yeah, that's another one. Just making sure.
僕はいつでもお前を見てるんだぞ
Let's go with another positive one. Next time I play, I'll probably get some negatives in there. Maybe.
お前はそれに気づいてるの
All of a sudden. Nightheart issued forth words. Even though I hadn't typed anything in. Thinking it must have been a hallucination, I rubbed my eyes. But his utterance still showed up in the chat window. The 2D world.
それって僕に言ってるの
You're not interested in dirt. Jesus, dude.
いや そうだけど。
Do you think he would start talking to me, the person behind him? Didn't Einhard have a will of his own after all?
だが断る。二次元世界に行くならせっかくだから僕はエロゲの世界を選ぶぜ。
Ah,
バゼラードはお前に任せるよ、ナイトハルト。
I get the power off to my PC as I answered him. Wait a minute. This is a new part entirely? I'm gonna say I'm gonna stop here for today. I know I didn't play for much, but this was sort of my return to stream. So let's see. Let's see the glossary. I'm pretty sure this is untranslated. Yep. But anyway, let me just see. Yeah, this is just new stuff. So let me just return to the title for today. Here. All right. Yeah, that was a fun, good hour of this game. Yeah, let's see. Considering I feel the energy to stream now again lately. I'll probably see what I'll do now. Tomorrow I sadly work, if I understand correctly. Yeah. So if all things work out pretty well, I'll begin streaming Sunday. Earlier too. I stream on a very late hour. But otherwise, yeah, Sunday I'll do such, and I'll see from there. And I'll for sure make sure it's longer. But anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I'll be taking my good Z's now. Ciao.